the good, the bad, and everything else they've experienced in the e-commerce world from Australia. Now, I wanted to also let you know that you would have seen on the update that we're doing some master classes that will be coming in January. Carly's going to be doing them along with others, and they're going to go through particular trainings for international people. So there will be particular trainings for Australia, for Hong Kong, for every different region will have particular training on what they need to do for their specific area. So these are coming in January, and they will be basic, intermediate, advanced, and you'll be able to really get a good handle on that. The other thing that we're doing for internationals is the new forum access, which will be through your back office. So only members will be able to access it, and you'll log in through the back office. We're having individual tabs for countries as well. So there'll be questions country specific and answers within the forum. So you can click on Australia and get, help from others. All these people on the call today will have experiences, we'll have successes, we'll have questions, answers, so you can definitely go there. And of course we've got people like Merrin, who's amazing and created fantastic trainings for her own teams. And what we've done is you guys have provided some questions, which I've passed on to Merrin, and she's going to be kind enough to answer them for us tonight and take time away from her family during this holiday, Christmas, New Year time. So I want to hand it over to Merrin to answer some questions. If you've got any other questions we don't cover, if we have time and if they're relevant, please just post them in, and I can always ask Merrin, and we can just do it together. So it's pretty informal, but we really wanted to just give you an idea on what we're doing. There is no visual. I've just seen somebody ask a visual. We're just having a conversation. It was quite short notice to put this together, and as I say, have Merrin give us the time. So we're not going to be physically showing you how you sign up an eBay account, but I believe that, I know that training is available in Prime. So Merrin, if you're there, how are you? We're just really, really happy to have you with us, and thanks for your time.
Thanks, Tracy. Yeah, I'm on loud and clear, and I've got a list of questions here, and if anything else comes up while I'm talking, please just put a question in. If we've got time at the end, we'll get them all answered. Sound
Fabulous.
Good?
Yes, cool. That sounds great. Thank you.
All right, so I'll just start at the top. This is in no particular order. Okay, the first one was someone was having an error with the zip code. I presume this is for the ALC tool. You need to put in the zip code for the item location, so it must be in the US, so that when people in the US are looking at eBay, they can see that the item is in the US somewhere, not in Australia. And I just Google a zip code for that. It doesn't matter where it is.
Just when you're listing a product.
Yeah, that's just when you're listing the product. Can you grab, I presume this means, can you get products from other suppliers such as gearbest.com? It's best to stick to the recommended suppliers that are in Infinii in the training. I know they'll put in more training for other suppliers. At the moment it's quite just all around eBay and Amazon. The reason for this is because some suppliers like Target in the US, and they just do not like resellers and drop shippers. It just doesn't end well. So this is from lots of people's experience trying lots of different suppliers, and there's a list of certain suppliers in the US that we have used and recommend, and it's just best to stick with them. Wayfair has changed its name to Zizo. Yes. In Australia, Wayfair is called Zizo now, but in the US it's called Wayfair, and they are one of our favourite suppliers.
So, Merrin, with Wayfair, you can use them on the Australian guys can use Wayfair America or Wayfair Australia. That's changed the name. They can use either?
Well, yeah, it depends on which eBay site you're selling on. So if you're selling on ebay.com.au, then you'd use all Australian suppliers. You wouldn't use Amazon for a supplier if you're shipping to Australian customers. But if you're selling on eBay US, then you'll use all the US suppliers.
Thank
Can you re-edit your tokens once it's been made? I presume this is for the eBay token for the ALC tool, you can disconnect at any time. And you can also disconnect it from your eBay account as well, but you should just be able to click the button. Do you recommend starting a new eBay account if you already have an existing account? First of all, no, don't do this, because if eBay matches you up with another eBay account, they'll flag it and pretty much suspend your account, but you'll need to call them up and prove who you are, and they'll unsuspend you. But you can have more than one eBay account, but you can't sell in the same categories, if that makes sense. So if you're selling an automotive on one account and you've got two accounts, you can't sell an automotive in the other one. But most people just have one account. And when you're starting a new account and you're starting from scratch, it's always better to have an older account if possible. Is it better to get a US address to bypass the 10 positive feedback rule and get a US PayPal account? No, this does not work because of the tax file issue, social security number. You can get a US account for free or for very cheap, like $10, but it doesn't matter the US address. You can't get a PayPal account, a US PayPal account. You can't get a US credit card unless you've got a social security number. So, yeah, that doesn't work. There are plenty of great reviews on using Amazon as a supplier, but not a lot said about Overstock. Overstock is a really good supplier. I'm not sure if you're aware of a guy called Matt McCormack. He passed $1 million in sales, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. And he pretty much uses only Overstock as a supplier. And he sells on Amazon. He drop ships from Overstock, and he sells on Amazon, and then he fulfills his orders from Overstock. So they're a really good supplier. They also do really good cashbacks, store discounts, and a credit card, but they also are not international friendly. You can't use a non-US PayPal or credit card with them. There's one trick that I haven't tried yet, and that is calling your local bank here and getting a US address added to your account. So you can try doing that, but I just tend to use the more international friendly suppliers. When building items from Amazon, Overstock, and listing on eBay or Bonanza, how do you keep track that your item hasn't sold out? Yes, this is one of the issues that we always have to deal with, out of stock items and price rises. So it's when you've got a few listings, it's quite easy to check them every day or every couple of days, but once you've got 100 or 200 eBay items, then you need a tool to do that. Now I just use a spreadsheet. It's got the calculations built in, so when I'm looking for items to list, I can just put in the figures and it'll tell me if there's a profit to be made or not. And then I copy the URL and I keep it all in the spreadsheet, and then I just check them that way. There is a tracking tool coming from Infinii as well, which will help. And there's lots of third-party tracking tools. So the people who are doing, hundreds of sales a day, they've got paid third-party tools to keep track of all of that. There's an easy way to do this is to create another Amazon account. This is if you're using Amazon as your supplier, and add them to your shopping cart as you're listing them on eBay. Add them to your shopping cart, and then they'll send you an email and say that it's gone out of stock or it's gone up in price. So that's an easy way to do that. If you are starting a new eBay account, which is the best way to get the 10 feedbacks? So if you've got a brand new eBay account, you can't go straight on and drop ship from it. Your eBay will flag your account. So make sure you're selling stuff from around the house first. We had a clear out. We sold prepaid envelopes. We sold stamps. You don't make a profit on these. That's just to get sales on the board and get some feedbacks. You can go to the markets and sell some cheap stuff. We've got people in our team getting bargains from Aldi and selling them. You can go to Alibaba or AliExpress and get a bunch of bulk cheap items and sell them one by one. And also you can get your friends or team members or sponsors to fake buy an item. So make sure it's around $1.50. I think that's the minimum, because you've got to pay 10% fees on that. So make sure it's as low as you can. And you just make it pay on delivery and local pickup. But just on that.
And with that, sorry, Mary, with that, when you're giving feedback, you obviously give 5-star top feedback, and the reason that you would do that is really to get the feedback as quick as you can and as good as you can. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. So you're getting the 5-star. I don't know if it's 5-star, is it? I don't know. There's a little questionnaire, and you tick the highest one. So if you're selling an item, you can rate the buyer. And that kind of prompts them to rate you back. But not everyone will give you your feedback, or they might do it a month later. So
But if they're your friends, you expect that they will.
Yes, yeah, oh, yes, of course. Yeah, just walk them through it to say, get them to buy it from you, and then after an hour, mark it as shipped, so they've come to pick it up. And then a day later, just remind them to put up give you a feedback. I do it quite a lot for our team members. But you can't ask, sorry?
No, sorry, I was going to say you can't, how many people, they can't do it multiple times, right? It's one person, one feedback?
Just from the same person, you can't, because I had some prepaid envelopes. And I thought, I've got, 20 of them, and that's 20. Oh, no, there was there's 10 or 20 different packets. And one person bought them, all of them. And then he gave me like 10 or 20 feedbacks, but only one of them counted. So, only one counts, and that's only one counts per week. So if I give you a good feedback this week, you can ask me again the next week. You can't just do it in the same week, same 7 days. So you can either get 10 people to do it or one person 10 times. Anyway. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Do you list? Yeah. Do you want me to go through the questions as we go? Because there's probably a few coming. What are they of different items? It doesn't matter if they're different items. It's the same buyer username. How long do you have to keep up the fake selling for? Just until you get the required amount of feedbacks, positive feedbacks. So
and
it's
the
just
required
10.
amount is that 10? Yeah.
10. Yeah. When we started 2.5 years ago, they said we needed 30. So it took us ages to get the 30, and then said, oh no, actually it's just 10 now. So anyway, it all helps. The more feedback you've got on your account, it helps with your ranking as well.
It doesn't have to be fake.
And Maren, you can sell things from around your house too. You don't have to actually go and get new items, do you?
Yeah. No, we sold heaps of stuff from around the house. Homemade stuff, I don't know, any unwanted gifts, Christmas gifts. Yeah. Can the same person buy a number of items and this count as separate or as one sale? Yeah, the same person can buy, but it has to be in a different week for it to count as feedback. Okay, I'll get to the suppliers in a minute. Do you list items under the $35 free delivery and add shipping? If you add shipping to your listing, it lowers the rank a little bit. So you're always trying to get the edge over other sellers. So just add the cost of you might find the shipping's $5. I know when you're listing from Wayfair, that's minimum $50 for the free shipping. So if I'm listing something for $30, $35, and I know the shipping is around $5, then I just add it to the final price. And if you don't know what the shipping number is, just do a fake checkout. Put it in your shopping bag and it will tell you. And just remember on that, $35, you're not going to get a lot of profits from those items. You want to be going for the more expensive furniture-y type, bigger items. For eventually, you might want to start off with the lower amounts first. What margins do you look for to make an item worth listing? How do you calculate the margin, taking into account the paper fees as well? So I use this spreadsheet that I talked about earlier, and you can, if you're good with Excel, you can just create one. So eBay's fees, final value fees, are 10%, and PayPal are around 3%. So you know that 13% covers that. And also if you're listing from Amazon, if your customer is in a state in the US that charges sales tax, then you'll be charged between 5 and 8% sales tax, which is, so you just got to be aware of that. Some sales you won't get charged and some you will, so just make sure you're covered. Make sure you've got a good profit after all your fees. And I don't know, start off a lower profit just to get some sales on the board, and then you want to look at around 15-20% around that. Also, what's really good, you can't use it on Amazon so much, but with Wayfair definitely, the cashback sites are really good. You don't get that cashback straight away. It takes a couple of months for it to go through the system, but once you've got that rolling in, that's an extra income. And also Wayfair, I think they've just brought it back. I know Overstock do, and also Sears did as well. It's store credits. So every time you make a purchase, you get credits to use for your next purchase. So I think on Wayfair it was 3%. So you can take that into account as well when you're calculating, or you can just have it as a bonus once you check out. But yeah, just get some lower profits on the board, sales on the board at first. Just if you've got a new eBay account, it's really important to get some good feedbacks and good sales. Listing on Bonanza, the items can be auto-listed on eBay. Is this a way around the 10 feedbacks? No, unfortunately it's not. And I don't think I think it's more that they auto-list from eBay to Bonanza. But anyway, it won't work if you can't sell on eBay US. You'll still need an eBay US account connected to verified with PayPal. But yeah, you can list on Bonanza without having an eBay account. So that's really good.
Is this where you recommend starting, Merrin? Like you obviously, to get started from Australia, you need obviously your eBay account set up, PayPal set up, and you need to get your listings, your manual listings. You need to manually list your 10 items or more and start getting your feedback. And then while that's happening, would you also start doing listings on Bonanza? Would you start doing, getting that happening? What's your thoughts on that?
Yes, absolutely. That's what we did while we were waiting. We actually took us 4 months to sell because we had we got our eBay account suspended because we used a US address, which we didn't know. We're very new to it all. But once we got that sorted, and then I had a different name on our PayPal account, so we had to get that all verified. But then, yeah, that's why it took so long. But in that 4 months, we'd learned a lot. And we did a lot of listing on Bonanza. They're fairly similar to eBay. You've got to have your description, your images, and your titles done. So it's really good practice. And I believe there's an auto listing tool coming for that, which will be really good. And I'm sure there'll be some more training. The training that's in Prime, is it at the moment, or is it Surge? It's quite basic. It's all you need to get started. But there are some. I'm sure there'll be some training webinars, and they'll go over the Bonanza training.
Absolutely.
So you can see somebody doing it, walking through it. And there are some really, really, really successful Bonanza sellers that I know of in the company. You just got to put in the hard work, and not hard work, but spend the time. Nothing happens overnight, especially in e-commerce. So always think of it as a long-term business. You're going to start on Bonanza, eBay. You always think of your long-term goal is that Amazon private label, FBA. But that's long-term goal. But for now.
Can I ask you just, I'm imagining people would want to know this. You said that you made a couple of mistakes in the beginning that got your account suspended and your PayPal didn't match. Can you just touch for me, please, on how your PayPal and your eBay, how important it is to have accurate information, what information you need to provide to make sure, for those people that are absolutely brand new and wanting to make sure they don't get into any, problems by doing, how to set it all up.
Yeah, so basically you need to have your real name and your real address, and your address has got to match within an area around your IP address, which is your computer address. If you create an account, this happened the other day, a team member was helping someone in New Zealand and they were in Australia, and because Amazon were like, hang on, this account's always been logged in from New Zealand and now it's been logged in from Australia, I'm going to shut it down. Well, it didn't get suspended, but they had to ring up and talk on the phone, and it was a pain. So if you are going to be logging into even your own account from a different, like if you go on holiday, it's always better to call eBay and let them know. They're really just, super sensitive about cookies. So always have your real name, because you're going to have to verify your name with your PayPal account and have your real name on your PayPal account. You need to verify it with proof of address and identification. So just be aware of that. Also, even if you go on a computer that someone else logged into and got a suspended account, if that happens, you'll get suspended. You have to ring and prove it wasn't you. So don't use a public computer in a library, because there's that risk. Some people have to create new user accounts on their computer, which is one of the things we had to do. Luckily there's two of us, so one of us got our account suspended and the other one could go on, which was lucky. Some people use a family member, but it's just a pain because you always have to prove who you are when you're talking on the phone to them. That's about it. Just, always tell the truth with eBay.
Great.
I'll just go through some more questions that are coming in. Hang on. I have 1,100 positive feedbacks on my eBay AU account, but I cannot create listing from Amazon to AU to eBay. You can't list from Amazon AU because Amazon AU is only digital items. So you should be able to go straight to ebay.com. You use the same logins. Just go .com instead of .com.au and put a listing up. If you can't list, there'll be an error message, but always call them as well, because they can look at your account and see that you've got 1,100 positive feedbacks. They may not be from selling, that's the thing. If it's not from a sales, if you don't have 10 feedbacks from selling, then they may not let you, but always call them, because I've seen, some people have been able to go straight over to eBay, even though they were only buying. So everyone's different. You just have to call them, and also every time you talk to someone at eBay, they're different. So you can call back the next week if you
get somebody easier.
Yeah. Someone's asked how many listings to make money. eBay is a numbers game. So the more listings you've got, the more chance you've got to make sales. And we were always taught that it was 10 to 20% of all your items will sell in 1 month. So if you put out 10 items, you might sell one thing in 1 month, and that's only if you're really lucky. So lots of people do that. They say, oh, I'm not selling anything, I'm not making any money, and you say, well, how many listings have you put up? Oh, I put up 5, 2 weeks ago, and I haven't. That's all. It doesn't work like that. You have to. I've got a big checklist of, why aren't my items selling? And one of them is you've got to log in every day to eBay because they can see that as activity, and you have to put up. So keep listing until you've got at least 100 items listed, and then keep going. But by then, hopefully, you've got sales coming in, and which is your good sellers, and you can kind of go on from there. What niches are selling, what items are selling. So we did have a calculator that worked out, your average profit per item, and then how many items you've got for sale, and or you can kind of work backwards how much you want to make, and then that equals how many items you've got to list. So make some big goals for listing. The numbers game. The more you've got listed, the more you'll sell. And everyone will attest to that that's been doing this.
Yep. And it's also, I know that there are some questions coming through asking, how I want to make this much money, how many products do I need to sell, and how much money have you made, and how many products have you sold? It's not really that's not really the purpose of this call. How much money you make on any business, this one included, depends on how much effort you put in. There's no magic formula, but we are making it as simple as possible with the trainings and the tools and everything else to ensure that you do find the best products and have the best way to make the profit. So there's no magic number to if you have this many listings, you're going to make X amount of dollars per year.
Oh no, it depends on what it is. Like as I said, if you're listing a $35 or $50 item and you're making $6 per time every time you sell it, well then you could just be listing a $300 or a $500 item and be making $100, and you put in the same amount of work into it. So it's up to you. We can't say X amount of listings and you'll make this much. It really just depends. And someone's asked, how do you select the products, the criteria? It's all in the training, guys. It's finding items that are on Amazon, and then searching for them on eBay and seeing if they're selling, and if they're sold and it's sold for a profit, then boom, that's what you list. So you go through. Lots of people have different ways of doing it. A quick way I do is I go to Wayfair, because Wayfair sell on eBay, and you can see what they've sold. And then you can go and search for it on Wayfair, or it's all in the training of how to find items to list. And when you're starting, look for budget quality items. So, example, don't sell a toaster, because everyone knows that a toaster is a toaster. It's $30, $40. Furniture is really good, and kitchenware, homeware, because they look good. And people, you can't often tell the difference between a $100 table and a $600 table. Okay. What is process selling?
AliExpress. What's your thoughts on that for Australian members?
I haven't personally ordered from AliExpress. I've ordered from Alibaba only because I've ordered in bulk. I'll just tell another little story here. Through the training that we got from DSD, specifically the FBA training, Genesis, George has started a business with another business partner here, importing from China LED lighting. So he was dealing with Alibaba all the time and getting samples sent over, communicating with China a lot. And AliExpress is the same as Alibaba, but you can order one-off items. So there's not a minimum order quantity, if that makes sense. So
Still got to be careful and test the supplies.
yeah, so George just said just always be really careful and make sure you've got make sure the suppliers have got really good feedback. I think in Alibaba they call it gold suppliers. So make sure that you're covered there.
Generally do a test product yourself.
Yeah,
You drop
and
it.
of course, he said before you drop ship a certain product, say you want to, I don't know, a candle, make sure you send one to yourself first so you know the shipping times and if there's any price that comes with the invoice.
Scary, isn't it?
So you want to know all of that before you start sending them to customers. But once you've got a really good supplier like that on AliExpress, then and even if it takes a week to get there or 2 weeks, then you can specify that in your listing. But to get a good supplier, you need to send yourself one first of all, and communicate with them as well, and see. That could be a long-term supplier for you, or you can.
Sorry, would you list, one of the questions is, would you list electrical items, or would you stay away from those types of products?
Stay away from electrical. We've got a do not list list, and that should be in the training somewhere. If it's not there now, it will be up soon. So anything electronic is a no-no, and that's because there's just more likely things will go wrong with it, and you're dealing with warranties and might be user error, but it doesn't work, and you have to get it sent back, and the more returns you get is not good for your account. So safest thing to do is just stay away from electronics for drop shipping. What is the process to sell in the US eBay starting in Australia? Getting through those restrictions first, and then use the same logins to list on US eBay. Doesn't matter where you are.
So to start, okay, so just to put it in perspective, to get onto ebay.com, you need to first start in Australia listing with your ebay.au account and manually listing up your items to get your feedback to make sure that you are then allowed on the ebay.com site. So ebay.com requires you to have a good standing in eBay Australia.
Yes.
So you would say that while that is happening, while you're getting your 10 items sold or 20 or whatever it is that you're getting sold over that time period as quick as you can, at the same time you can then go straight into Bonanza and start actually doing the process and making some money or learning as you go straight away into Bonanza.
Yep.
Would that be your recommendation to start right now? If somebody came into business today and went through the training in the Prime and started to just create eBay, PayPal, get their listings, get Bonanza up and running, that would be the first 3 steps. Is that would that be
as soon as possible get a sale on ebay.com.au. So something from around the house, something you've taken. This is quite important too. Don't get say you're selling say, I don't know, like I think I sold an old iPhone, but I took the stock photo from Apple's site. So don't do that. Make sure you take a photo that you've taken yourself, because apparently that's one of the things that eBay look for. You can use stock items, like when you're listing from Amazon, but that first one, make sure it's a photo that you take.
And so Bonanza, you can do Bonanza before you even have any items sold on eBay. It's got nothing to do. One has nothing, and that's just a question that somebody's asked, so I'm just clarifying it. One has nothing to do with the other. You can start straight away on Bonanza. Are there restrictions on there as far as?
No, I don't think there is.
Okay, so get your Bonanza business happening while your eBay listings are being sold, with the view to getting onto ebay.com And then I think, Marion, you're going to cover the Amazon, how you get an Amazon account as well.
Yes.
It's one of those questions. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just go through the questions. Got a bit lost. And I'll go back to the original list and get through that first.
Yes.
Do we need an Amazon business account? If you are just a customer, you're using Amazon as your supplier, you're drop shipping from Amazon, you don't need a business account, you just use your personal account. And this is another question we get all the time, is do I get a Prime account? A Prime account is, I think it's between $80 and $100 a year, and that gives you free shipping on items under $35. And a lot of people in the US already have a Prime account, but for this, the official line is that you're not allowed to use a Prime account for any kind of business, which this is a business. I know, but I do know that some people do have a Prime account because it was existing, and they use it for their business. And if they get warned by Amazon, they stop doing it. But the company line is to not use Prime, and just list over $35 items to get that free shipping.
So sorry, you go.
If you're selling on Amazon, which I'll get to in a bit, then yes, you do need a business account. The first month is free, and then it's $40 a month. Someone's asked for. I'll do those tips and tricks right at the end, I think. Again, someone's just asking the best way for an Australian to get started, and that's just getting that sale ASAP, getting PayPal verified, getting those feedbacks up, keeping your account in good standing, and calling eBay and asking for, trying to get put a listing up on ebay.com and see if you can go through.
So I guess one of the questions that I imagine people would be thinking, how do you know when you are verified or approved to go on ebay.com? And that is, as you're saying, try and put a listing up to ebay.com, see if it works, or alternatively, phone eBay once you've got those feedbacks and find out from them.
Yes.
Is that what you do?
Correct. Yep. And I think you have to also agree to an international selling agreement on eBay, but you'll get prompted to do that when you're doing it. It's been so long, I can't remember the exact process, but you should just be able to go and put up a listing on ebay.com using the same logins, and it will tell you if you can or can't. You'll get an error message. And
one of the ways that you, working an e-commerce business from Australia, found successful was when you were explaining it earlier to me. Can you share that with everyone on the call on how
selling on Amazon?
Yes.
Yes. So once we got selling on ebay.com, we we sold for a while on ebay.com, and then we looked at the selling on Amazon because the new Amazon training had come out. It was called Monopoly. And that was exactly the same as drop shipping on eBay, but it was drop shipping on Amazon using different suppliers. And with like as I said before, eBay you need lots of listings up because it's a numbers game, but Amazon you need less listings up. And we had probably 40 or 50 items up, and about 3 or 4 of them sold all day, every day. So we could have just deleted all the other ones because they weren't selling much. We found a couple of products, and they just sold 10, 20 times a day.
Where did you get the products from though? Where did you?
Okay, so our suppliers. This was another question. Was our next question coming up? The suppliers we found the best in the US was Wayfair, Walmart, Sears, and Hayneedle. So they're all international friendly, as in they take international PayPal and international credit and debit cards. And they all work with cashback sites, and most of them have store rewards as well.
So to do this, you don't actually need an eBay.com account, correct?
Yeah, correct. You don't need
Okay.
eBay at all. So,
All right.
the only thing about Amazon is they only pay out every 2 weeks. They'll pay directly to your Australian bank account, but they won't. They do it every 14 days. So if your first sale was on a Sunday, then 2 weeks from Sunday, you'll get paid, and it takes 2 or 3 days to get to Australia. So all the sales in that period you have to pay for out of your own pocket, and then you'll get a massive deposit in your bank account, which is always nice. Most people, they use credit, and so they get a credit card with 5,000 on it, and then they use that for their sales, and then at the end of the fortnight they pay it all off and do it that way.
That makes good sense. So you don't need an eBay.com site. You have an Amazon. You purchase. You list a product that you got from Walmart on Amazon. Let's just say, and you haven't purchased it yet from Walmart, but it sells on Amazon. You drop ship it from Walmart to that person. Amazon keeps the money for 2 weeks and then gives it back to you, and it's all Australia friendly.
Yes. Yeah. And it's not like every sale isn't 2 weeks. It's so if you made a sale 3 days before your 2 week rolling payday, then you get the money for that. It's all the sales in that 2 week period, even if it's the day before, it all gets paid out on that one day, and then the next 2 weeks will start, and then you get paid out at the end of that.
So did you found that the most successful way from Australia for you to do the drop shipping? Am I right in saying that?
Yes. Yeah, Amazon is a lot better for us, and you're not dealing with loads of eBay listings as well.
Oh, yes, and sorry, some of the questions are, so it's Walmart, those companies that we drop shipped were Walmart, Mayfair?
Walmart, Wayfair, Wayfair. Yep, Walmart, Wayfair, Sears, Sears, and Hayneedle. Hayneedle, yeah.
Is that Hay needle?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, but and also I know the Infinii marketplace is going to be really good as well.
Yes, that's coming in the first quarter of next year, hopefully sooner, rather than towards the beginning of the year rather than the end of the first quarter. But that will be very, very exciting. Infinii marketplace will have a huge impact on doing all of this.
Yeah, and one of the really good things about that is when you're drop shipping from Infinii, the shipping label will have your name on it, whereas sometimes when you're shipping from Walmart, for example, Walmart are quite bad. They'll put their name all over it, whereas when you're shipping from Infinii, they'll have your name, which will be much better.
And how quickly can you do this process? Is it just a matter of having some money to see you through that 2 weeks? If somebody wanted to get started straight away doing that drop shipping, they could do it?
Yeah, just as really quickly. You get your first month free for your business account on Amazon. Then you go through the training, saying that the training is, this particular method is in Excel at the moment. And so go through the training, and then you can find so it's not when you're drop shipping on Amazon. This is the method that we did. You're not creating a listing from scratch. If you're creating a listing from scratch, you need a UPC code. You need it takes a lot longer to put up a listing. But this method that we do, which is in the Infinii training, basically you're finding an item that's already selling on Amazon. And I don't know if you notice on Amazon, it will say it's called the buy box, and the buy box is rotated between all the top sellers, which top sellers got good feedback and have been a seller for more than 90 days. Saying that though, we had the buy box a lot, and we were brand new sellers. So when you find an item that's selling on Amazon and you can see that you can buy it for a profit, then you go to your seller dashboard and you put in the name of the code of that item, and then you click sell yours, and all you do is put in a handling time and a price, and that's it. It takes 5 minutes. It's really quick. And then I just copied the URL and spreadsheet just to keep track of it, and it's live. So yeah, you can do it really quickly. You don't need to do any kind of waiting or restrictions or anything.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Any other platforms? Yeah, someone's saying about US use
Sorry, Mary, you're breaking up.
Oh, am I?
No, that's better. Wherever you went, it went funny.
Hello? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Deals Direct, they are drop shipping friendly. You can call them and you can get a drop shipping account. So they're good. And oo.com.au is also quite good as well. And then there's some other drop shipping companies. I can't remember what it's called now. But eBay, one of the reasons eBay.com.au is fees are really high. So when you're selling on eBay.com, it's 30 cents for 30 days, and here it's $1.50 for 10 days. So you've got much higher fees here. The listing fee is when you get your first 30 or 40 free, and after that you get charged $1.50 per 10 days. So it's not that good. And they charge, even if you put shipping extra, they charge final value fees on shipping as well. So your final value fees are 10%. So I do not like eBay.com.au. But it's good.
But we need to start with,
yes.
And we've got to start there in order to get to progress.
Yeah, as long as you just know it's just to get started, just to get those sales on board, get some experience, and then set your sights on US eBay, because they've got 300 million people in the country.
Yeah. Okay, so in wrapping, it's nearly an hour, so we might start to wrap it up. There's a few tips you wanted to tell people about.
Yep. There's a couple of questions here. Do you have a US-based bank account for currency transfers? No. What you can do is go to we use NAB, and NAB's got a traveller's account, traveller's debit card. And there's another couple of companies that do it as well. One of our team members is a travel agent, and she recommended some. So you just want to get a debit card that's got US dollars on it, and that will help with the fees. And Amazon pay out in US dollars, and they pay to your bank account, your Australian bank account. So at the moment it's quite nice, the exchange rate. So don't mind the fees so much. Infinio says to open a personal eBay account. Yes, I've only ever had a personal eBay account. You can get a eBay store, and you get slightly lower fees, but you need to have, because it costs, I think, $20 a month, so you want to have at least 100 or more listings before you even look at a shop. Supplies, companies, said them. The Amazon Shopping Biz app. So in the Prime training, you'll see the Amazon Shopping for Profits. That is pretty much US people, because they can go to Five Below or Dollar General and get those items and send them to FBA. When we were in Orlando in October for the event, That's what we learnt while we were there. We went with Nikki and Parrish Witherspoon, and we scanned a bunch of items. It was mainly Star Wars stuff, and we got back to the hotel and we got it all wrapped up and labelled and picked up by Amazon. And they've been selling all the Star Wars stuff, has sold out. I've got some Shopkin stuff selling as well. And that's called the shopping for profit. So anyone in the US can do that, but unfortunately for us, we're restricted to online stores. So dollartree.com is quite a good site, but you then need to get it shipped. Unless you've got a person at Dollar Tree that is willing to label them for you. There are third-party companies in the US that will receive all your items and label them. I think it's like 60 cents per item or something. And then they'll get it shipped and they'll handle it all for you. So there is that option as well. But yeah, the Amazon Sellers app, it doesn't work here if you're scanning stuff.
Okay, so you've got some tips and some pointers here that I can see.
Yeah. Okay, so any tips or tricks for getting started quicker? Okay, first of all, the training, make sure you go through it. I went through it 5 or more times, and this is, going back to DSD, always referring to the training. So make sure you don't just watch it one time, watch it over and over, take lots of notes. And when the live training comes out, and it starts up, always attend all the live training, take lots of notes, and re-listen as well. I always learn, I still listen to the DSD Pro webinars. I don't know, seem to learn something every time. Taking action as well, you all know this. There's no point just having the training there and not taking action. So as soon as you get off the call, go and make sure your eBay account's all set up and verified with PayPal and start getting those sales on the board. So build your business a little bit every day. I know a lot of the people on the call here are affiliates, so getting, as you know, building your affiliate site as well, building those relationships, participating in the forums and or the Facebook groups, depending on your own team. But yeah, once the forums are up, I'll definitely be looking in them in the Australian forum quite a bit and helping out there where I can. And so you learn a lot from other people just by going into the forums and seeing what other people are asking. Celebrating other people's success is really important as well. That first sale, it's really important. Keep listing limits. Most people don't realise that when you first start out on eBay, if you've got a brand new eBay account, they'll limit the amount of things you can list. So it might be, I think it's only like 10 to start with, but as soon as you get your PayPal account verified, it goes up to 100. And then as soon as you get some feedbacks on the board, then they increase it. They say that they only increase it once a month, but if you hit your limits and you can't list anymore, call them up and they should increase them for you. And if they don't, call back the next day and the next day and the next day. That seems to work. But even just if you have a sale in between when you last called them and you got a good feedback, then they should increase them. So yeah, just be aware that you can't go out and list 100 items tomorrow if you've got a brand new eBay account. Titles are really important. That gives us the edge over other sellers as well. So there's a couple of keyword tools I think are in the training as well. Use them to build out your titles. So when people ask me to look at their listings to see why their items aren't selling, is 90% of the time it's because of the title they've put, I don't know, brown wooden coffee table, and that's it. You've got 80 characters, you've got to use all those keywords. It doesn't need to make sense, it doesn't need to be description, it's just keywords. What people would be searching for on eBay. There is, as I said before, there's a list of certain items you can't sell, and electronics as well. recommend you don't sell electronics, but there are some brands that you can't sell, and if you do sell them, you'll get told to take the listing down. There's a list on eBay called the Vero list, which is verified owners, I think. And it's, like as seen on TV items, stay away from them. DeWalt, there's a whole heap of them. And it is, as I said, it's not in Infinio at the moment. It should be there soon. The do not sell list. Always having Amazon FBA as your goal. So going forward, this is a long-term business. It's something that all the skills that you're going to learn in the training is with you for life. So no one can take that away from you. Just always have that goal as Amazon FBA, private label. We've got some really good success stories in the company. It takes months and months to get from idea to a branded product selling and ranked well on Amazon. So just keep that as your goal and work towards that. And what's my final one? Document your success on Facebook. So when you get your first sale or your first 100 feedbacks or your power seller status, let everyone know. And that's the best. If you're doing the affiliate side, that is the #1 best way to build your team.
And you've got extra images. How many images do you recommend you put up?
Better ranking is around 6 images. So this is a good tip. When you're saving the images from whatever, say you're saving them from Amazon, and it's a wooden coffee table, save that first image with the keywords wooden-coffee-table. And that's your gallery image, and that gets ranked better on within eBay. So the eBay computer spiders, they'll read that, and instead of it being, XYZ black something, that just makes no sense. So make sure that you name your gallery image, your top 3 keywords, and then title that listing those first 3 keywords at the start. So that's known to rank much better.
And when you're saying gallery, you mean that first photo that pops up as a picture for your listing? Is that right?
Yes, that shows up in search.
Yeah. Just in case somebody doesn't know what gallery means.
Yes, sorry. And then also, if you don't have, say you list in a set of towels, or maybe set of pots, and they only provide 2 images, then you can use a tool like, the window snipping tool, or I use PicMonkey, and you can blow it up, and then, because it has to be at least 500 pixels on one side, blow it up and then crop it, and so it looks like it's a different photo, but it's actually, you're just highlighting a certain part of the image. Anyway, that's probably a little bit over and more advanced than what everyone was expecting, but yeah, that's another little tip. But yeah, the more images, the better for better ranking, and it's all about getting better ranking and using all the training to get that edge over other sellers on eBay.
With the goal to be off eBay, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that's key.
Amazon,
well.
Yeah, Amazon FBA is your own business. Well, you could take it off Amazon completely as well and have it. You can have your own website as well and drop ship from Amazon. So if you get sales on your own website, you can just fulfill the site once you've got all your products in Amazon warehouse. So that's a good thing to do as well. Okay,
so just in finishing up, really, I guess the questions have stopped sort of coming in, but the key is to watch the training a few times, get your eBay account set up if you haven't already, get your PayPal account set up, link them, get your 10 manual listings up, or as many as if it's more than 10, get your friends and family or people in your Facebook group, people in your teams to come and purchase the products and do a pick-up cash on delivery. cash on pickup rather. Get your feedbacks in, get Bonanza working. Get Bonanza working straight away because there's no restrictions and you can start earning money from Bonanza straight away while your eBay account is being getting feedback and getting verified to allow you to go into the .com. So that's really important because we want to start making money straight away from this as well as obviously the affiliate side, which you're all doing anyway. Get on Bonanza straight away, and then as you go through the process, as Miriam was saying, was most profitable for her and George was getting onto Amazon and drop shipping through those other suppliers, Walmarts and Sears and Wayfair, etc., without needing an eBay.com account. So you could even go into that while you're still waiting, if you're still waiting to get on eBay.com.
Yep, absolutely.
And keep the forums, as I said, the forums should be up by the time, I'm hoping by the time the Australians, we all wake up tomorrow, the forums will be up, and that'll be really good. So get into the Australian side, use the forums, use the help desk, and also use the international training is coming. I was talking to Carly today, and she's very, very focused and excited about doing the masterclass trainings. And
that sounds good.
Yeah, she's so much fun, and she's so knowledgeable, and she's a great teacher. Really makes it very easy. So that's Maren, thanks so much. Really appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
To help us understand this. I'm sure we'll be using you again.
That's all right. And if we didn't get to your questions, ask them in the forum, and I'll look out for them there.
Yeah, we'll be looking for you in the forum for sure. So thanks everybody, and hopefully you got some good information, and hopefully you got some questions answered. This is only just a very informal start, so there's so much more coming to help you to get a grasp of it. But I think if you focus on the eBay, Bonanza, PayPal initially, the training, and get started that way, and we'll build from there. So thanks everyone. Thanks so much, Maren, and good night. Happy New Year too for tomorrow for everybody too.
Yes.
So let's make 2016 pretty exciting.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Tracy.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.